After Conquest arrived on Earth to assume Mark's position and conquer Earth for the Viltrum Empire, he told Mark that he had been sent specifically because his resistance was anticipated and that he would die if he opposed him. Mark told him it wasn't a good time because he felt guilty for causing all the destruction around, and all he wanted was to hit something really hard. So Conquest granted his wish and charged at Invincible with all his might. He immediately overpowered Mark as they crashed into a building. Then he tells Mark that he wants him to resist because he enjoys the thrill of battle, not because he is fulfilling his duty. Mark got up and punched him in the face while he was preaching about his desires. But Conquest laughed and told him he was getting there. Mark continued to propel Conquest through buildings in an attempt to subdue him. However, he got up unscathed and asked for more because Mark wasn't as bloodlusted as he wanted him to be. Conquest was quite impressed by the tactics Mark employed to escape his chokehold. He toyed with Mark for a while until he proved to be worth the hassle. Then, he launched his first serious punch that shattered Mark's goggles and broke his nose. Oliver saw how Mark was getting his ass kicked on TV, so he blitzed over to help his brother. He got to the scene of the battle, but they were moving too fast for him to catch up. Mark tried to stop Conquest so they can talk, but Conquest didn't give him a chance to surrender because he was having the time of his life. Suddenly, Oliver arrived and thwarted Conquest from beating Mark to death. He demanded he knew who he was because he was told there was only one viltrumite on Earth. Mark used the opportunity to get Oliver as far away from Conquest as possible because he knew Oliver wasn't strong enough to face a savage brute like Conquest. Meanwhile, Eve woke up in the hospital after 2 days in a coma and saw Mark fighting another viltrumite on TV. She panicked and told the doctor to call Cecil because she knew they were going to kill Mark for not joining their empire when he had the chance. Conquest kept toying with Mark and told him that he didn't understand why they sent him here because it was too easy. Oliver entered the battle once again, even after Mark warned him to stay far away from Conquest. He tried to get Mark on his feet so they can fight him together because he believes they can beat him if they work together. Conquest told him to perish that thought and thanked him for coming back because he cherished the second chance of destroying him. He knocked off Oliver's tooth and was about to rip him apart for the fun of it, but Mark intervened just in time or Oliver would have been killed. Luckily, Cecil's medical crew came and rescued Oliver while Conquest was fighting Mark. He goes to the hospital and asked for Eve's help because there were no heroes left to send. She arrived at the scene and found out that it wasn't who she expected to see. So when Mark restrained him and told her to get out of there immediately, Conquest maneuvered and fractured Mark's bone, leaving him incapacitated. Then he goes on to break Eve's construct before delivering the finishing blow that killed her instantly. Mark was devastated and pleaded with her to stay alive, but the injury she sustained was too fatal because Conquest impaled her. In a fit of overwhelming rage, Mark launched himself at Conquest and destroyed his prosthetic arm with a single punch. He proceeds to bite Conquest when he tried to crush him with his other arm. Then he spits it out and charges at him once again. Meanwhile, Eve suddenly began to glow and heal from all her sustained injuries. As she was resurrected back from the dead, she unleashed a powerful blast that gave Conquest first-degree burns. But because she has used a large sum of her power to repair herself, she fell asleep in the middle of the battle. However, it gave Mark the time to completely finish Conquest, seeing as he was significantly weakened by Eve's attack. Then he crawls to check on Eve, who was lying unconscious without her clothes. As Mark confessed his love for Eve, he fell unconscious out of exhaustion from the battle with Conquest. Just then, Cecil and other group of heroes who came to assist Mark in putting Conquest down found them both lying unconscious.